Welcome back, guys, to Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations, as Maggie Bird is our defendant, of course, as we've headed into trial, with Gumshoe giving us the facts, and of course Godot being our prosecutor. We are fearful of his coffee as we continue on. Hopefully we get some more evidence as well, to be able to actually form a case properly. What piece was it again? This! I knew I was right to be fearful of the coffee. Should I be grateful this coffee's only hot enough to give me first-degree burns? Oh, now I remember. This is the, victim's coffee cup. Yes, the victim's cup. Take a good look at the rim. Oh yes, it's unmistakable. There's clearly a coffee stain on it. Who'd have guessed that there'd be coffee on a coffee cup? Conclusive proof that the victim did drink the poisoned coffee that was in this cup. The victim gulped down the bitter death that the waitress brought to him. Like this! Ah! For the record, the only prints on the cup were the victims and the defendants. Okay then. Upon further investigation of this cup, we found a certain chemical substance. What we found was potassium cyanide. That stuff really packs a punch. Right then, we got ourselves something, but to be honest, this probably looks like a get more information kind of like full testimony. Covered in the victim and Maggie's fingerprints. Coffee contained potassium cyanide. Let's keep pressing, eh? Each and every factoid. Potassium cyanide? I've heard of that chemical before. Exactly how strong is this poison, Detective Gumshoe? It's, well, that stuff's lethal! Eat too much in your history. How much is too much? A lethal dose is 0.2 grams. It's about enough to finish anyone off. 0.2 grams? How much is that? You know when you swap your ears for earwax? Yeah, about that much. Earwax, huh? Sounds like something Gumshoe's got an abundance of. Such a small quantity of poison could have been concealed anywhere. Indeed. And it looks like Miss Bird might have had, well, some kind of motive. Speak more. Some kind of a motive? Yeah, but if you ask me, it's been blown way out of proportion.
Objection!
You know what my golden rule is, Detective. Chuck out a bad cup of coffee, you can always get another. Huh? I don't get it. How many cups is this so far? I'm saying, we can always get another witness on the stand if we have to chuck you out. So stick to the facts, Detective. Now then, what was Miss Bird's motive? Come on, Gumshoe. He said she wanted to steal a lottery ticket. I knew it. That's what we heard yesterday too. It disappeared from the scene of the crime. And it wasn't just any lottery ticket. It was a winning ticket for $500,000. Mr. Armstrong knew about the ticket too, didn't he? But he stole the wrong one. Then, is it possible Maggie stole the winning one? What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not? Why not? What's to hurt? He says. Wait a minute. The mere fact the lottery ticket disappeared in no way implicates my clients. Ha! Yeah, indeed, it needs to be found on a person as evidence. I have here in my hand the very ticket in question. Who'd have guessed? That's the $500,000 lottery ticket? One of the female police officers found it when she was conducting a search of the defendant. There we go. What? Order! Order! Ha! She's quite a lucky bird, our little waitress. You will submit that ticket as evidence to the court immediately! I'd better keep an eye on that ticket. The way the judge's voice is quivering. Why does he want it? This ticket was presented to the court in the previous trial too. But it feels heavier now somehow. $500,000, you say? It's just a scrap of paper. What matters is where it was found, Your Honor. And that's on Maggie's person, unfortunately. That's enough. The facts of this case seem overwhelmingly clear to me. The defendant had ample opportunity to commit the crime of which she is charged. Furthermore, it seems beyond reasonable doubt that she did indeed commit this crime. I like an old man who knows the score. There's also the matter of the $500,000 lottery ticket. That alone provides a very credible motive. I mean, for that sum of money, even I might be tempted to bend the rules. I don't mind an old man who's weak to the siren call of money. Not good, Nick. The evidence against Maggie is starting to pile up fast. Yeah, that's because the court has ruled guilty once already. I'd say it's about time to wrap up this repeat performance. With one final decisive piece of evidence. He's got more evidence against Maggie? This is the apron the delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time. Wow, that's not the cleanest apron I've ever seen. That stain looks like... It can't be! Poo! Can it? No, it's blood. Blood. It's brown. Ah, it seems the star of our play was a little flustered, and it seems I made a really bad joke. Now I'm flustered. And somehow spilled coffee on herself. The coffee? That's not exactly the first thing that caught my eye. Oh, see, we're on the same track, obviously. Except mine was fecal in nature. Of course, the coffee stain isn't the most interesting thing about this apron. No, there's something else that stands out even more. Tomato ketchup! Something else? I presume you mean. Of course, I'm referring to the pocket. What? The pocket? A search carried out right after the incident uncovered this. Potassium cyanide. The very poison used by the killer was in her apron pocket. A bottle of poison in Maggie's pocket? Yeah, Maggie's prints were the only ones on it. What? Order! 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 The court will accept these items into evidence. So we got the apron, we got lottery tickets. And the potassium cyanide as well. See, that's a ton more stuff to work with. There's something still bothering me, Mr. Godot. Why have you not explained the bloodstain to the court? Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be? Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-colored stain that's smeared all over the apron. That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a bloodstain. You don't need to be told. Just look at it. It's tomato ketchup, isn't it? Well, detective, could this stain really be blood? No way, sir. It's just ketchup. Haha! See, sir? Ketchup? She must have gotten someone on her apron while taking someone their breakfast that day. You could have spoken up a little sooner, Detective Gumshoe. Pull a stunt like that again, I'll have you drink 17 cups of ketchup, witness. Ugh. I thought everyone knew what it was already. I did. I haven't seen anything yet to make me doubt the last ruling I made on this case. The motive, the opportunity, and the supporting evidence. They have all been clearly established. Well, trite. It seems you really are phony after all. Ah, you really know how to drive a man nuts. Witness, please continue with your testimony. Describe for the court the crime scene and the findings of your investigation there. Go on then, Gumshoe, give us tons more evidence, maybe. The crime was reported at 2:25 by a kind of scary old man, sir. Poor Maggie had passed out from the shock. It must have been real tough for her. The victim didn't have any identification on him, but we figured out who he was pretty quick, and then the investigation went smoothly. When Maggie was searched, we found the lottery ticket and the bottle of poison. And that was it. There was nothing else missing from the crime scene, sir. You identified the victim and secured your prime suspect. Very good. Last chance to convince the court you're a real lawyer, trite. I think I've done that many times. Don't count on any more cross-examinations after this one. So let the fun begin. Well, before the fun begins, should we check any of the scripture on our new bits of evidence? A winning ticket for $500,000 found during a body search of Maggie. Not good. Well, by Maggie at the time of the incident. Has small pockets but big stains. A deadly powdery poison. Bears Maggie's fingerprints. Found in an apron pocket. Basically, everything's terrible. Everything's terrible. So we get to the investigation. Another testimony. The crime was reported at 2:25 by a kind of scary old man, sir. Was it now, sir? Scary old man, Detective Gumshoe? There's an old man who's a regular at the restaurant where the incident happened. Ah, we're obviously talking about the same old man. Officers were dispatched right after the report came in, but the old guy still made a fuss. What took you so long? And he hurled abuse at them. And seeds. Seeds. The best way to repel the youth. Ha! It was nothing. I caught each one with my teeth. Ha! I'm not youth enough. I guess not even the mighty Godot can avoid being attacked by that guy. The old man was the only other customer in the place at the time. He took his time finding a payphone apparently, so he was late reporting the crime. Poor Maggie had passed out from the shock. It must have been real tough for her. How long was the defendant unconscious for? The officers got to the crime scene around 2:40. Maggie was still out cold in the kitchen at that time. It took another 10 minutes or so before she came to. I would have liked to have been on the scene myself. I bet you would have liked to have carried out the search too. I would have loved to see Maggie asleep like that. All pretty and peaceful. You're a professional detective, Gumshoe, not a professional bird watcher. Hey. Save the romantics for your own time, detective. All we need to know about is the investigation. Oops. I guess I'm pretty red right now, aren't I? The victim didn't have any identification on him. He didn't have any? Are you saying that it was stolen then? No, I don't think so. The victim didn't have a driver's license or even a credit card on him, pal. He's got a scouter though. All he had was 58 cents in his wallet. 58 cents? Man, he was skint. How could he pay for his meal? Yeah, can't believe I found someone with less in their wallet than me, pal. Maybe he already paid. The victim sounds like he was a thoroughly miserable young man. That's kind of conjecture. Or some kind of outlaw. Why not give him a bit of an edge? I think I'm onto something here. Oh, really? Well, we figured out who he was pretty quick, and then the investigation went smoothly. Ow! Wait a sec. Huh? Did I say something dumb again? Let me paraphrase what you just testified to this court. The victim didn't have any form of ID on him. That's basically what you said, yeah? Yeah, basically. In that case, how were you able to identify the victim so quickly? Oh, that. He's so let down. He's got the whole sagging shoulders and puppy eyes thing going. There was a prescription bag on the victim's table along with a lottery ticket. It seems Mr. Glenn Elk visited his doctor before he went to Trebian. We got the victim's name from the medical records of the doc who prescribed the meds. That's a reliable enough source for the court. What should I do? Should I leave this alone or ask to hear more? Well, ask about the prescription bag, of course. So what sort of medicine was in the bag? Well, actually, the bag we found was empty. Potassium cyanide, maybe? Huh? Yeah, completely empty. It was completely empty? Well, now we've got to add it to evidence, do we? Ha! You're entering an empty paper bag as evidence? Desperate are you, Trite? I can enter it on my own free will? Why does it not allow me to do these things? But this seems important. Now, what happened with the investigation after that, detective? When Maggie was searched, we found the lottery ticket and the bottle of poison. And that was it. There was nothing else missing from the crime scene. Now, we got to press that one first. I just skipped automatically. The defendant had been passed out for a while, correct? In that case, isn't it possible someone planted the evidence in Maggie's pocket? Hey, yeah, you've nailed it, pal. It happens to me all the time, does it? We had a department party the other day, and when I got home, I was wearing the boss's shoes. Objection. Keep up this crazy testimony, detective, and those shoes will end up down your throat. That's plain threatening now. Sorry. So, Trite, someone planted the evidence in Maggie's pocket. That's a pretty bold statement. Care to back it up with some evidence? Well, I'd love to if I had any. It appears you have no evidence to support your theory, Mr. Wright. Continue with your testimony, witness. And that was it. There was nothing else missing from the crime scene. Hold it. So the $500,000 lottery ticket and the bottle of poison were accounted for? Yeah. Interesting. It's true that those 2 items are accounted for. But wasn't there another lottery ticket that was stolen that day? Indeed.
Oh yeah, the one the restaurant owner took? He won a whole dollar with it. What a lucky guy, huh?
And they're just going to let him get away with it?
It was just $1, detective.
I guess no one cares when it's that little. Except for Gumshoe. If I don't find a hole in this testimony, the judge is going to hand down his verdict. Gumshoe isn't giving us anything to work with. And we can't find any contradictions if he doesn't give us something.
Yeah, that's true.
But Maggie and Gumshoe are like Dumb and Dumber. Our only hope is that they were so dumb they missed something obvious. Come on, Gumshoe, be the dumbest you've ever been.
The crime was reported... Okay, we start from the start. We got that as evidence from this. The bag.
But haven't we already clarified that there was something missing? Why would you have a prescription bag if there were no medicine? Could it be the potassium cyanide itself? Is this our way in? Well, considering all the rest of the stuff we've gained so far this trial is basically incrimination towards Maggie, this is the only thing that isn't.
Objection!
Detective Gumshoe, I think I should point something out to you. There is just one small contradiction in your testimony. It's very tiny and pretty much unrelated, really. Well, it is related, but it's just so vague.
Oh ho! Finally! I'm getting all anxious just waiting, so hurry up, will ya?
He testified that nothing else was missing from the crime scene. However, the prescription bag he mentioned was empty. Did the officers recover the medicine from the scene of the crime later?
No, they didn't.
The victim was given a prescription right before going to Trebian. Where, then, did the medicine disappear to?
You are too cool, pal! Indeed! Due consideration wasn't given to the victim's prescription in the previous trial. A witness, why do you always overlook such vital pieces of evidence? I guess that's the most careless thing I've done so far, huh?
Not really. The victim was killed by poison. The victim's medicine mysteriously disappeared. The victim's own prescription could have been the lethal poison itself.
Order!
Who prescribes potassium cyanide to people, though?
Well, Mr. Godot, what do you have to say to that?
You better say my statement, because it makes sense to say.
That's all.
What?
Read for the court the name of the clinic on the prescription bag, if you will.
What's the clinic's name got to do with anything? New ear otolaryngological. So it's like, oh, what does otto mean? But laryngological means like throat, you know, like larynx. I guess. Otolaryngological? I've never heard of that. But is it like ears, mouth, nose kind of, you know, like throat kind of doctor? That kind of system?
Just what kind of illness was the victim suffering from, Mr. Godot? Hardly an illness, Your Honor. More like a bitter war wound, you could say. A war wound? The day before the incident, Mr. Elk found himself in a fight.
Aye.
He took a blow to the side of the head and ruptured his eardrum.
Ears, nose, throat, yeah. I was wondering if that was why he's wearing a scouter. But obviously he's just wearing that for fashion and to check people's power levels. Ruptured his eardrum, eh? That sounds horrible. He ruptured his eardrum?
Then what on earth was the prescription he was given? It was a cream that was to be applied topically inside his ear canal, not to be ingested.
Because if ingested, it's a deadly poison.
It's mentioned in the autopsy report if you read the fine print. They found traces of the medication in the victim's left ear. Yes, here it is, in very, very fine print. Seems Mr. L correctly applied some of his medication while he was at Trebian. Therefore, it would be absurd to believe that he would have eaten his medication. It seems that his medication is irrelevant to the case after all.
No. Nick, if you don't think of something quick, it'll all be over. She's right. But I can't get away with any old weak objection. What should I do? Push the medication issue or leave it? Well, that is the question here. To be honest, I think it's probably best to push it, because leaving things doesn't go too well for us, but all the same, where's the bottle? Basically, something's missing from the crime scene. Maybe we should push on that standard. Well, we'll push this next episode on Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations. I'll see you then for more. Bye-bye.